What are you thinking here?
I'm thinking we need a bit of value, and I think we need to find one at a price. And I think Sunday Prey could go quite well backing trip double figures odds. And
oh my God, I'm with you.
you look excited.
Well, I'm excited. You just don't look that excited about the fact that I'm seeing it the
I'm
same
not that
way.
excited that you're in agreement.
No, that's right. Yeah, I can sense that. What sort of price is Sunday Prey? Let's check in with Cambo at Bet Easy.
Thank you, Richo. I don't know about Sunday Prey. I reckon I'm on the full brother Saturday Prey at the moment. But punters are struggling, as you say, and this is the most difficult race of the day. So in reverse, you'd probably get a win here. It's $5.50 the field, and it's sort of been the top three in the market have sort of been up and down a little bit. Tantat Trusting, Ryan's Fender. Pure Scott's gone from 5 to 7. That's only just happened in the last 60 seconds because it was $6 a minute ago. So Pure Scott just adrift there. Kentucky Breeze $8.50 down to $7.50. Sunday Prey you mentioned, but just out to $10. Silent Command at 13, 100%. Don't hear that very often, do you? At $17, and Inter Rio 15 down to $12 to $17 as well. At the moment, the best result for punters will be Ryan's Fender at $5.50.
This Racing.com mounting yard is proudly brought to you by Magic Millions.
All right, race number 6 here at Ballarat on Cup Day, and number 2's not in the yard yet, and 1 and 3 are scratching. So we start with Levi Kavanagh's runner here, the gelding son of Piero, called Kentucky Breeze.
Who was good behind subsequent winner 50 Stars at Flemington, I thought, at his last start. So 4th run in today. Maybe the wet track could be a touch of a concern, but not a whole lot of form on that, and did run on a heavy track last start and still ran well. So I wouldn't be reading too much into that those stats at the moment. I think it'd go well.
Jane, that 3 runs his preparation, must be at his top physically now.
Yeah, certainly he looks fit in the yard, and I think looking at him on type, he's going to appreciate the step up to 1,600 metres. He's a nice tall galloper, probably a little bit better in front than what he is in behind, but step up in distance, really going to suit.
Chelsea Hall claims 3, so 59 kilos with a gelded son of Manhattan Rain called Sunday Prey, and the dropping grade's vital.
It is, the dropping grade. I thought that the Savical form, I'm pretty sure will stack up nicely, and I would imagine in those conditions, maybe the 1800 just tested Sunday Prey. I'm hoping he'll go forward as usual today and probably take a bit of reeling in.
He hasn't changed much race to race. This horse, once he's fit, he parades in a pretty nice manner, pretty relaxed in the yard and similar to what we've seen previously.
Winkers go on 100% for Archie Alexander and Jordan Childs.
Terrific first up run, and then well, might have had an excuse second up. I thought it was a bit disappointing last time. So the jury's out for me, and they've gone with the Winkers today, so maybe they're just trying something different.
Tony McAvoy is teaming up with Luke Curry here with Tantat Trusting, who had a nice form profile until it went to Flemington behind Savical. If you think the Savical form reference is good enough, do you think Tantat Trusting's there?
I think he's going to be in the mix, he's in the market at $5.50. He's been very consistent. He just probably needs a touch of luck from the gate, but he'll find a good spot and won't be far off them.
Yeah, lovely horse who's been up a while but still looks like he's really enjoying racing, holding his condition and his colour, and another one that hasn't changed much since the last time I saw him step out on race day.
Former Western Australian on a rain-affected track, number 7, Ripper Rio. It's not normally a recipe for success.
No, and on soft tracks only hit the frame once, 1 of 5. So, look, perhaps has had an excuse or two, the couple of runs back, but happy to look today.
We go from Ripper Rio to Into Rio, and the blinkers get applied today.
That they do. Blinkers back on, so the gear change might help because there's a little bit to find on recent form.
9, would have thought so. Another Lindsay Park Racing runner here. Dwayne Dunn rides. Stylish win at Benalla. Well, it was just far too good for them at Benalla. I can't believe he was $5.50 there.
Sounds like you might have backed him.
No, I didn't. That's more my point. But I think he's had 14 starts. I think I've backed him 13 times, and that wasn't one of them.
We know the recipe, then, don't we? You on him today? Third up, look, would have thought so. He's got a little bit to find.
I used to like you. 10 is the scratching. 11 is Ryan's Fender, who's being supported, an entire son of Helmet, trained locally by Matty Kamar.
Yeah, 1-2 for one he's only run last prep. It was an impressive performance as well, and this horse definitely has upside, so I respect the market. He looks a good chance.
Yeah, it's my first look at him. I'm quite impressed from what I see in the yard. He's a good type. He's a horse that's got a little bit of quality about him. He's got the 2 strappers on, but at this point in time, he's staying nice and composed.
And Silent Command at $13 for Nick Smart. Linda Meach draws a wide barrier there, can go forward.
Yeah, and probably went forward last start, and probably just a bit close to that speed. So I thought there was a genuine excuse there. It wasn't a bad run as a consequence. Maybe a trifecta chance here.
It's a gelding that takes a couple of runs to find peak fitness. I think he's just about there now. A little bit of a horse that can trick you a bit because he does carry a little bit of weight round his middle, but the way he's profiling, he should just about be spot on.
Pure Scott is $6 out to $8. The Perilist mare, who's having its third run for the preparation. Loved it here at Ballarat first up.
She was very good, and I thought she was pretty good at Flemington, at second up this prep behind Masuna Fiducia. That was a nice performance. You could argue is probably easier race than that. So, price is she's out to $8, a bit friendless at the moment in the market. I still think she's in the mix.
She's never going to be a big imposing mare, but she certainly has improved physically this time round. I like her attitude race day. She seems alert and pretty engaged today.
Terry and Karina O'Sullivan have a gelding son of Delago Deluxe here that is in the market to a degree, $19.
I'd be keeping this one safe. I thought it was a good value chance. It was a good run at Kyneton behind Angelic Spirit. That race rated pretty well, for the day, and like the way that Revellers hit the line on that occasion. So there's one on a soft track as well.
Ron Delago's 100 to 1.
Yeah, rightly so. Hard to line up. I thought a little bit of that first up form in a small field. They crawled as well, so happy to watch again.
Can Dan O'Sullivan turn back the clock here with Elite Tiger? Hasn't won for nearly 600 days.
Yeah, that's a concern, but I suppose the positive is a 4-time winner here. Just absolutely loves Ballarat.
Penthouse Poet's another one at a big price here, 25 to 1.
Yeah, I thought it was an all right run last start by Dagliar. I think the conditions isn't an issue either, so another one at a price that could run a bit of a race.
And Diplomatic Jack's only won the one race in its 11-start career. Dean Yendall rides $20.
And I don't think it'll be number 2 today. I'm happy to watch. In fact, I'm a little surprised it's 20 compared to a couple others that at similar quotes that I'll give a better chance to.
It's a benchmark 70-mile race. Your top 4.
Sunday Prey for me, I think it's a good each way chance. See, I think you get a very good run for your money. Outside of that, Kentucky Breeze, I think, could run a nice race. I like that form around Savacool, so I've got to put Trusting in, and Ryan's Fender's the other one. So on top, Sunday Prey.
2, 4, 6 and 11 for the Hutchbuster, and I'm with you. I've got Sunday Prey on top, and I think $10, $9.50 around that price is a terrific each way play. Brent Zarafas with Ryan's Fender, the local. Would have thought so for Benny, who's always had an opinion of that horse. And number 4, Kentucky Breeze for Maddie Hill, who's calling all the action for us today. On a huge day, and Jane, your pick of the yard.
I like the 6 here in Tantat Trusting. Tony McAvoy's had to settle for a second position with his 2 runners to date, so he's hoping this horse can go one better, but I feel like he's handling his campaign really well. He still looks good on race day. I like the way he presented in the yard today, so he goes on top ahead of Ryan's Fender, who's a quality galloper. I only really sided with Tantat Trusting ahead of him, given the fact that he's got race fitness on his side.
Well, clear favourite now, Jane, is Tantat Trusting, your selection, so it's on its own at $5. Still is a fairly quiet race as far as our betting holds are going here because it is such a difficult race. Ryan's Fender is still in the betting behind Tantat Trusting at $6.50, and now Kentucky Breeze has jumped in to equal second favourite, so a bit of a move there for number 4. Pure Scott continues to drift out to $8.50. Sunday Prey still there at $9.50. Bit of a move here for Silent Command. A watch for us, number 12. That's come into $11, so there is some support there. Into Rio 17, Penthouse Poet down to 18, but it's $5 the field, Richard.
Well, $5 the field, and Tantat Trusting as the favourite, and well, about 5 runners within $2 of each other. That's how tough this race is. Race number 6. Well, Matty Kamani had an open day this morning, Jane, and 350 of his closest mates rocked up to have a look at all these beautiful horses.
Yeah, perfect day to do it on Ballarat Cup Day. You had an open day this morning. Did it all go well?
Yeah, really well, actually. The rain held off, which was perfect, and we got a fair few people there, I think, and they had a good time. We had some mulled wine and some champagne and showed a few horses.
Sounds like a brilliant way to start the day. Ryan's Fender lines up in this for you fresh up. How forward is he?
Yeah, I think he looks pretty fit to me, and he's been going really well in his gallops. He's a horse that always improves over a bit of distance, so he's not a sort of natural speedy galloper, but he's been going really well at home. I'm happy with him. He's a bit of a boy, but just about controllable, and I think he's come on a lot since his last campaign, and I'm hopeful that he can put in a good show today, even though it is a little bit short of his optimum distance.
Looks like a talented galloper, and you've given him a little bit of time as well.
Yeah, not intentionally, actually. After his first up run last prep, he actually nearly fell over in the race, and he hit the back of his pastern quite hard and needed a long break after that, unfortunately. But he won that race, and it was impressive on heavy ground, and hopefully he can do a similar thing today. The barrier's a little bit complicated. He needs to break well and try and get himself into a bit of space, because he's got a really long action, long stride, and needs to be able to use it. Is there some expectation on your behalf that he should be able to be competitive here? I hope so. I think he's a good horse. I think if he doesn't quite do it today, then I wouldn't be worried. I think as we get him up over 1,800, 2,000 metres, then that's when we'll see him at his best. But you always hope that he's got that little bit of extra, that X factor, and that he can do it today, so long as he doesn't get into any trouble. You did have a runner in the local cup and one more try mare that's in superb form, but you scratched her this morning. What's the reason behind that? Yeah, look, it was a real shame. We were really looking forward to it, obviously, and even though she wasn't that in the market, she wasn't that fancied, but I thought it was a good race for her, and the barrier wasn't ideal. But she actually had a little bit of heat in her leg this morning, and we've scanned it and looked at it with the vet, and it all looks okay, but just a little warning sign there, and I think you've got to try and pick those up before they become anything, and hopefully that's what we've done. We'll give her a long break, which is what we were aiming to do anyway, and bring her back late autumn. Well, all the best with your horse here, and for her once she gets over a little incident. Thanks a lot.
Good to hear from Maddie Kamani, and fingers crossed with the horse coming out of the cup. A little bit of heat there, and it's great that they detected it early to make sure that certainly didn't get injured. So that's good news for Matt Kamani and his big team, and he's had a terrific strike rate of recent time. He had one more try in the cup. Dino, horses just milling around the mile start here. Hopefully all the jockeys made their way appropriately out to the track.
You know what? I would love to say yes, they did, but unfortunately, they all just want to be copycats. There was 4 of them that missed the cue, but I did notice Ethan Brown on his way back to make his way around to the outer track did give up his fellow rider, saying, you know what, I follow the top weight, so he used that as an excuse. We're not going to cop that, Ethan, young man, I can assure you. But look, all in all, look, they've all looked in good order. We did notice Ryan's fender. Look, he's a big, strong end tyre who was very colty out the back, but going on the track, he gave Brett Preble a bit of a tough ride, but behind the barriers, he's much more relaxed, which is a positive sign. And that's what we do see. A few horses, they can get stirred up in the mounting yards, get stirred up on the way to the gates, but once they've had that little canter around, they get that out of the system, that freshness, and really then concentrate on the race.
That is the key, isn't it? As a big crowd starts to fill the grandstand, there's marquees the length of the straight here, Hutch. We probably don't have the ideal vantage point from where we are past the winning post to be able to really get a total picture in regards to the crowd, but by all reports, we could be getting close to records.
Yeah, it looks that way, and look, I think this is a day that's sort of even grown since I've been back here. You know, it was a fantastic day. No matter, I know the conditions last year, they had a lot of rain and there was a lot of mud around, but it didn't dampen the enthusiasm or the enjoyment out there for all the patrons. They had a great day, and it looks like much the same is required again today.
Yeah, well, I went and at the end of the day last year made a fatal mistake of catching up with SD Marshall and Julian Valance, and by gee, were they enjoying it. What was a great day in amongst the mud.
Did you ask them if they arrived the night before?
They had a velocity going at the moment, and Jules was glowing, no doubt, even though there was no sun around. So it's a terrific day of racing, and hopefully everyone is doing it responsibly and taking all the messages from the TAC to make sure that they get home safely from Ballarat Cup Day. And no market mover here, Matty, for race number 6. This is a toughie.
It is a toughie, isn't it? And the scratchings haven't made it any easier. Very open indeed. Trying to take stock of it. There's a bit of support for a couple of the emergencies, 18 and 19, which I'll talk about in a moment. But Tantat Trusting at $5.50. Ryan's Fender $6.50 on VOPs. Kentucky Breeze at $7. Moving forward, 100% is in with Into Rio. We've got Ryan's Fender at $6.50, Tantat Trusting favourite. Pure Scott is at $9 and easing. Down the bottom, Penthouse Poet 26 to 17, back to 20. And Diplomac Jack is into 15 as well. Has firmed in the 19 with Dean Yendall aboard. So it is a very open race. Sunday Prey, who led last time at Flemington on Oaks Day, $10 to $7.50. Plenty of room for this large field behind the gates. Terrific starting point, this one, the 1600 on the outer track. Penthouse Poet is in. Revless coming along now with Tantat Trusting. Silent Command, Pure Scott, Would Have Thought So, and Elite Tiger are the final three to come along for the McKellar Mile. Silent Command is in now. Now, Would Have Thought So is in. Elite Tiger mills around with also Pure Scott. Pure Scott with Fred Kersley is already on the board today, winning with Khartoum in race 3. Pure Scott goes up and Elite Tiger will complete the line. Johnny Allen.
Right, guys, get your gear last on his way up.
Here's Elite Tiger. Moves forwards and the field set to run. Race 6. Very open race there, ready, all clear, given, racing, beautiful line, dropping out to the end, Ripper Rio, and also Penthouse Poet, Silent Command, jump quickly with Elite Tiger, speed from the outside gates there. Sunday Prey isn't too far away with Pure Scott at Ryan's Fender, followed by Revless Kentucky Breeze, trying to sneak back and get closer to the rails from 100% and into Rio. Then Diplomac Jack, about 2 lengths, Would Have Thought So, Tantat Trusting, 3 further back, Ripper Rio, followed by Ronda and 5 lengths Penthouse Poet. Well, Elite Tiger's using plenty of the track here. It's almost towards the outside fence and is then going to V-line across and lead by about 3 or 4 lengths now. So it's Elite Tiger in front from Sunday Prey and also Silent Command, and they were followed next in the field by, on the inside, Ryan's Fender and Pure Scott. Then Kentucky Breeze, who's 4 and 5 deep on the improve. Next in the field is Revless, and they were followed by Inter Rio. Next in the field, 100% and Diplomac Jack. The inside Would Have Thought So. Next in the field, Tantat Trusting, and they were followed by, on the inside, Ripper Rio, who's battling well back in the field, Rondalago, Penthouse Poet. So it's Elite Tiger coming up towards the turn at the 400 metres, 2 lengths in front of Ryan's Fender, and then came Sunday Prey. Next in the field is Inter Rio, Diplomac Jack, Kentucky Breeze down the centre of the track. Ryan's Fender moves up to Elite Tiger, then came Inter Rio, Kentucky Breeze, Ryan's Fender at the 150 from Inter Rio, Kentucky Breeze, Tantat Trusting, Diplomac Jack. Now they're coming at the leader, Kentucky Breeze. The race changes. Tantat Trusting coming at Kentucky Breeze and missed. Kentucky Breeze beat Tantat Trusting, Inter Rio and Diplomac Jack. Ryan's Fender stopped as if shot, and they were followed by Pure Scott, Penthouse Poet, Revless, Elite Tiger, Ripper Rio, behind them Silent Command. Then came Sunday Prey, 100% Rondalago, and Would Have Thought So was last. Kentucky Breeze, number 4, Ethan Brown for Levi Kavanagh. Well, Ryan's Fender went for the doctor at the top of the straight, but hit the wall, and it was up to the, well, I was going to say the run-on horses. It was a Dower type finish in the soft conditions, but Kentucky Breeze will last from Tantat Trusting. 4 beats 6. So in the end, 2 elects fight it out. It is Kentucky Breeze, Ethan Brown for Levi Kavanagh, defeating 6 Tantat Trusting, Luke Curry, Tony McAvoy. And we stand by for third. It is in third, number 8, I would suggest, which it is, and that is Inter Rio. 4th, number 19, Diplomac Jack, who was closing, and also Ryan's Fender, who got tired, finishes 5th. 6th, number 13, Pure Scott. 4, 6, 8, 19, 141.75, short head by a length and a quarter on race number 6, the McKellar Mile. It's here now from the winning jock, Ethan Brown, thanks to Luke Griff Super.
Well, Ethan, he's always shown some really nice ability. I think it was this time last year he was a winner at Flemington.
Yeah, that's right. Even his last start suggested, you know, the form that came out of that race was great. He ran enormous in that race, I thought. Look, he's a big building horse, so I just rode him really rather than a race, and paid dividends in the end.
it's almost like you've got to ride him to help his confidence.
Yeah, that's it. As I said, you know, the pace came out the race and I just allowed him to stride forward. Didn't really worry about covering ground or any of that. And look, the way he batted out the finish was great, I thought.
It was an interesting race to watch because you had John Allen, who was, for the first part of the race, almost on the outside fence, as Matty Hill called.
Yeah, look, I looked up and seen him there. I'm not sure what that go was, but yeah, just focus on my horse. And look, he's done a great job today, I thought.
Now, you know I'm a big fan of yours. But next time, check the race book. Inner, outer track. Can we get that right? Are you still blaming the top weight? You followed the rest of them.
I'll just blame the top weight. Follow the rest.
Well played. Well played by you. Well done.
Cheers, man.
And well played by Rod Waitley and all the team of owners here, Rod. You beauty. Good on you, Rod.
Very, very happy.
Yes.
And it's a great one on Melbourne Cup Day, and we're all quietly confident today.
Did we have something small on it?
Just a little bit.
You bought a new tie for it and everything, have you?
Yes. Match the colours.
I look in the ownership there. I can't see your name, but then I see a syndicate called Go Wild. That'd be you, wouldn't it?
That's them, and that's them there.
There's a whole lot of people going wild.
Darren should be around. Darren, syndicate manager right there.
How many horses have you owned, Rod, in your time? One. This is your first horse?
It's my first horse.
And you've had 10 starts for 3 wins and earnings about 150 large.
Yes, and it was a birthday present from my wife. So,
isn't she a beautiful woman? What's her name?
Kate.
Kate, well done by you. Look at, she's just looking over the fence, making sure you're well dressed. She's worried about your collar, but that is a fair present.
Oh, yes, very, very happy.
Okay, what about your next one? You're going to get another one now, don't you?
Well, we'll keep going with this and see how we go.
Okay, you've always been a horse fan, though?
Oh, yes, always.
Well done to you and Levi Kavanagh, and you're going to have a lot of fun with this really talented Piero gelding. Well done, Rod.
Thank you very much.
From Rod Waitley, we go over to Jane Ivor.